leaders build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, Legacy Builders, welcome back to another show. I'm so blessed to be back with you with another amazing guest and conversation. And today we're going to talk about wealth, financial clarity. I know that's such an important piece in our journey as evolving purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So who else better than Becca Heissel to be able to give us some insight around this very important topic, a fellow beautiful connection I made from one of my networks, Innovation Women. So I'm so glad to be able to have this conversation with her. Becca, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your time. And I want to thank you in advance for all the amazing wisdom you share with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Elona.
Let's dive right into the conversation. Let's kind of give people, some of the, I guess, the insight that you have around this topic. So empowering entrepreneurs with financial clarity. So where can we begin with that?
Absolutely. So there's books for everything. There's books on how to raise a child. There's books on how to manage a business, how to run a business. But the most important books is your book. And that is your bookkeeping. We call bookkeeping your books because it tells a story. And we can learn from the past and we can forecast the future, but we manage the present. We use those books to make business decisions. And the empowering entrepreneurs with financial clarity, there's three things that you need to know. And those three things is what do you want? How much does it cost? And to know your numbers. So, diving into that first is what do you want, but not just in your business, not just in your personal life, but relationships and health and legacy. We want your business to support itself, but we also want it to support the life that you want. And so, how we do that is we know what we want and we know how much those things cost and we know our current numbers.
I love that you mentioned other areas of personal life because we have a holistic approach here because we're all obviously people that are also into our personal development. So we understand how a lot of these different areas harmonize with our business. And sometimes when you're after a mission vision, you have your business is like your vocation. It just feels like life. I honestly can't have a different half of the days that I'm just doing all the things that we do as entrepreneurs. So I love that you mentioned that. Becca, clarity, I agree, is power. That's why I also speak a lot about purpose and internet. Sometimes I have a hard time saying it, being intentional. That's the right way to say that. So being intentional about the right decisions that we need to make in our business, it's very important. And clarity is absolutely power, especially in the financial area of our lives. Let's call it that way. What are some of the most important KPIs that an entrepreneur needs to have top of mind or be aware around at the various stages of their business growth? What are your thoughts on that?
So I start from the beginning and do a practical approach. So, the very first thing is there's so much money emotion. And so when we talk about the clarity, I always go back to that because the thing is that if you want a virtual assistant or you want a team, you need to know that number. You need to know how much those things cost. And then once you know how much money your business needs to make a month to support itself and your personal life and pay yourself and set aside money for taxes, then you can look at okay, how many clients do I need to work with at what price? So many entrepreneurs offer a service and they like that's their gift, is the service that they offer, and so they don't charge enough for it. But the thing is, you can price yourself out of business, and then you're doing yourself a disservice. And so you can be a McDonald's and sell tons of services at a $500 a month value, or you could be a Ruth Chris steakhouse and sell one steak at $5,000. So, whatever you want, you can do, but you need to know your numbers so that you know how much money you need to charge, and you need to focus on you need to know how many clients you need to work with at what price.
Mm. Oh yeah, business model is powerful because I know so many people, and me myself, at certain phases and stages of growing my business, and as I've added more resources and team, as we were talking about that, and systems, all these things require money. So sometimes I think, as entrepreneurs, especially as women entrepreneurs, we kind of just look at it very cold, dry, into okay, so if I'm just getting, whatever, trading my time for money based on my business model, this is something that I can charge. But it's really considering all the other investments that we have to make in the business as well for the business to scale. So looking at this at a wider range of view and a bigger vision helps us align with the value and the results that we're able to provide in the transformation, because we all know that price also attract the higher quality market, right? So I love that you said, what is going to be your brand strategy? Do you want to be the cheapest whatever in town, or do you want to be the person that is known for value and has a very strong brand presence? And those are two different things, because obviously the decisions you'll make are very, very different. Becca, what about other KPIs? What other metrics do we need to look at besides our business model and our pricing?
So the other thing is, I want you to picture your money as water. And you have a pitcher of water, and you have 4 cups, and one is your taxes, and one is wealth accumulation, and one is personal expenses, and one is business expenses. We want you to allocate that water or your money in all 4 cups. We don't want to leave a cup empty. We don't want to overfill a cup. And so that's why there's nothing more important than the starting point of what do you want to do, be, or have? And once you know those and you know your numbers, then you know how to pour that water. Because if you pour all your money into your business, then your personal life suffers. Or if you dump it all into your business and personal, then your health could suffer, or you don't have money to pay taxes, which is what we really need. And so when we work with clients, the very first thing is those 3 meetings are all about them. What do you want, and how much does it cost? There's nothing more important than that, because then once you know your numbers, then you can know how to achieve them. But the very first step is to know your numbers and know what you want. And you can have anything.
Are you looking to expose your brand, your purpose, and your profit alignment this year? That I want to introduce you to our C Suite program here at the Life School speaking program, where you will be connected every week with free, paid TEDx podcasts, speaking opportunities to other aligned audiences. You'll also be participating in our weekly and monthly events here at the Life School, with the reach of an audience of over 30,000 entrepreneurs and high level CEOs. Also, you will be warmly introduced to high level connections every month, where you can add amazing people to your network and be able to land new clients, but also be able to collaborate. Lastly, you'll also be featured in our global magazine and be an ongoing contributor to our magazine, so that you can reach new people and also expand your brand and purpose and profit alignment. New benefits are always being added to our community C Suite membership program. For more information and for ways to register, you can participate with a 30 days free trial, so you could see the community for yourself and then make a decision if you'd like to join as a member. I want to invite you to go to lonalaparrycoaching.com/C-suite program for more information. All right. I love that you said that, Becca, right? Just like anything, I would say know thyself, know thy numbers, because those are going to dictate the decision making of where do you need to put your very hard earned dollars, right? Whether it's in your marketing, your branding, whatever investment you're going to make that's going to bring you back ROI, whether it's buying back your time or buying back money, right? Or making more money and profits within your company. Because we always have heard of just the money piece, but nobody talks about the time piece. I think that's one of the most important pieces that we cannot get back, because obviously, if we're strategic and we know our numbers, we can absolutely make more money with the money that we invest in our companies. So that's a direct correlation. But time is one of those things that we don't always get back. Becca, I'd love to hear a little bit more around your purposeful journey, because we love a good purpose. We love a good reason why you're doing what you're doing, the mission that you are behind, or why do you feel like this is your vocation, or the way that you want to serve others through the financial education that you empower your clients with. So, what are some of those meaningful moments that lead to this work that you're doing today?
Sure. So I started 6 years ago as a receptionist. And as a receptionist, you get phone calls of everything. Like, can I talk to Maddie right now? I got a letter from the IRS. What do I do? My bank account's going zero. I had to withdraw from the bank. And so as a receptionist, you hear all of that. And then Maddie Brown, our CPA, asked me if I could do her newsletter. I said, sure. And she's like, hey, you're pretty good at this. Do you want to do my marketing? So I started marketing, and I knew we did bookkeeping and I knew we did tax returns and tax planning, but I would hear her on the phone all day. And I'm like, Maddie, I need to know what you do so that way I know how to market your business. And just after sitting on 3 of her coaching calls, I told her she was never going to get me off those coaching calls again, because I loved watching the transformation. I loved watching people come in. I didn't like seeing them stressed and anxiety and fear and scared, but watching them being coached by Maddie and going through 8 week one-on-one with her, you could literally watch their transformation. You could literally see them go and experience that relief. How to manage money and how to be an entrepreneur is not taught in schools. It's not their fault. They get this wild idea, they have a service, a thing to offer, and they just do it, and they're doing amazing at it, but they have no idea how to manage their money or how to hire a team. And you know there's so much shame and guilt around money. And it's okay if you want a $5 cup of coffee at Starbucks every day. That's okay if that's what you really want. You just need to plan for it and bring awareness to it. And so the same is for hiring a team. If you want a virtual assistant, it's okay. We just need to know how much a virtual assistant costs and plan for it. So many people want something, but they don't know how much it costs. And it's okay to look at those things. And so I have a sticky note on my desk that says, my words inspire, empower, and transform lives of entrepreneurs. And that is what I am so happy to say that I am doing today. And I absolutely love doing, and I love watching transformations.
Well, Becca, my gosh, thank you so much for being a good student, right? Because now I have a team, and obviously reminding me a lot of the way that I was within the company that I worked for all those years. Because sometimes, people just take what they need to do and they just kind of get comfortable within those roles. But being curious, being always I need to learn. How can I add value, right? And always looking for those ways not only makes you irreplaceable, right? Because sometimes when you're a team member, you have those thoughts of like, am I just a number? Am I valued here? Am I significant? Because as humans, that's what we want anyway. We just want to contribute, want to be important, and we want to feel the results of our efforts, just like you did when you were able to observe, the person that you worked with. But thank you so much for being a good student, a curious person that is always looking to add value, because look at where you are today, because you're so observant during that journey and you surrounded yourself with people that obviously knew more than you at that level and stage. We can learn and grow from everyone, and you are here today now adding value on your own terms with other people. That's why I really feel like no experience in life is ever wasted. It's just building blocks towards the thing that we do, and we're always able to help so many people that maybe are a couple of steps behind the journey, so that we can become somebody's guide based on our experience. I love that you shared that. Becca, I have one intuitive question based on what you just when you just described your personal purposeful journey around the time. How do we calculate the time and the highest value of the value add that we get to add in our companies as founders. So how do we know how much our time is worth and how much our time would be best put into other efforts that will bring us a higher ROI for the growth of our business versus maybe hiring a VA, which can do a lot of those repetitive tasks that you might be doing because you don't really know how to get that clarity between how much is my time worth and how much is my VA time's worth. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So, my first thing is to make a list of every task that you're doing. And we believe in something called the 3 Ds. Either you do, you dump, or you delegate. And I will say that, like, bookkeeping, for a perfect example, is we had a client who once we started doing her bookkeeping, the next month made 8 sales calls, like actually closed 8 sales. And the amount of time that she was spending doing her own bookkeeping is time that she could have been helping others in her zone of genius. So, any task like marketing or bookkeeping or something that you don't need to do that's not your zone of genius, and there's somebody out there that's an expert at it, delegate it. Because that's more time that you have marketing your business. That's more time you have helping more people. So there's really not a time or marketing your time as much as it's honestly just do, dump, or delegate. And if you already have a team, make a list of all your team members, empower them. Honestly, when you delegate to a team member, you're empowering them. And that's exactly what Maddie did for me and all of our team.
Oh, Becca, I love that. I love that the three equations because it's like almost a process that once you learn it, you're gonna do it subconsciously. It's almost like a habit. Because I'll do the same. We were having a conversation today. I'm like, okay, so is this something that I need to do? Is this something I need to delegate? And you almost are doing that subconsciously. And as you scale, it's like a process that is always something that you're gonna do anyway. So why not learn the habits? And learn, the logic or the purpose behind that so that you could get a lot of stuff off your plate. But that's the only way to have freedom because we only have a limited amount of time and energy, right? So it's really important to be able to be conscious around that behavior as well. So I thank you for absolutely sharing that with us. Well, I'd love to add to this show panel today another amazing guest, Christina Milosevic. Christina, thank you so much for coming on and looking forward to saying hi to you and tell me where is it that you're actually connecting from today?
And hi everyone, and can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Can
really
you
good.
hear me? Oh yes, my name is Christina Milosevic. I'm digital marketing coach, podcast creator, and speaker, and I'm based in Serbia, Southeast Europe, Belgrade, capital of Serbia.
Oh my gosh, I'm natively from Albania. So there we go. That's a common connection there. Well, thank you so much for coming on and the amazing work that you're doing. So digital marketing, definitely right in line with what we're talking about with Becca, as she's a financial services expert. That's another very important piece of growing our businesses, right? Marketing is where everything is. It's like I heard this from my dad many years ago, where he's like, marketing and sales is the heart of every business. But I didn't know it because I heard it when I was very small. So I'm like, I don't understand, what exactly is it that he was referring to. But I really understood as I grew more into this entrepreneurial journey. So, Christina, based on your unique approach with helping your clients with digital marketing, what are some of those things that we need to know as founders, CEOs, business owners that might help us more in our marketing efforts so that we start reaching the right people that we want to serve?
And thank you for inviting me. And in terms of digital marketing, but before I'm going to answer your question. I run my graphic design 14 years, and I'm so present globally in Australia, UK, United States, and other as a freelancer. And through that communication and work with clients, I basically like to do everything organically. And this is how I start and create some website people need how to build their online presence. and they are so shy in some way, And this is the way how I started podcasting. My podcast has been selected in the top 20 in online business, and I'm creating and growing business along with Christina. And this is to build your presence, to overcome your pain points, obstacles. First and foremost, you have to be self-confident to connect with right people and to build that relationship in terms to promote your business. Just people need to know about you if you work that organically. So there are many things. If you have, maybe we can go to the other question, maybe narrowing to be much more beneficial for our audience today.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. And I like how you also mentioned that when we learn new things, we're always like connecting new dots. And that's how we're also are able to offer that service and saving time for somebody else that maybe hasn't had that experience and journey to be able to even know, like, where do I get started with a website? How do I make my website functional? How do I make my graphics functional for my brand? How do I start now niching down, which is a word that I think most entrepreneurs hate, like myself, because it feels limiting. It feels like, I can only, narrow on a certain type of market, but no, it's not so, right? So give me your thoughts on niching down, Christina, for people that I feel like this exercise is always ongoing because the more I've grown my business, the more I've niched down like organically to like, I guess, more quality rather than quantity. Because at the beginning, you don't always know what you don't know. So you're going for more like a bigger market or a wider market. And then later on, as you start to learn about your confidence, what you stand for, what is your messaging, what is your unique perspective, you serve your clients. So you see a lot of their transformations. I feel like over time, for myself, I've always kind of narrowed down further organically into more like quality because my messaging is more clear, my business model is more clear, right? I know my market much, much better. So it just feels like for me that kind of journey. What are your thoughts on niching for people that?
Yeah, when I started, as I didn't know that you are so bordering countries. My Serbia and Albania. This is so, and we met online. Just imagine that big opportunity for people to connect in one non-global space. How to say that? And through that conversation, to work with clients, that's so important thing when you wanted to start in terms of if you are in still in business and you wanted to move in online space, you have to think about how you wanted to share your message. But at first, you need to have mindset. Everything is coming from there because there are different people who say, we create a website, and they say, okay, Christina, am I going to get a new clients? Am I going to? And I said, okay, but you have to think about how do you want it to manage your website. As a business owner, if you don't have time to manage it, just try to engage someone else who will help you to manage it, to just get and generate traffic to your website, and build your visibility, and how to build your online presence in terms to that people like, is it going to be on networking, word of mouth, whatever you go, just to in terms SEO, search engine optimization, or you wanted to backlinks just to promote your business and website to connect with very famous, very platforms who are so approachable, and this is a way when we need but we need to follow up our dreams and our journey, because if we don't do it, we can never move forward. And in terms, I'm much more passionate about speaking than writing, and this is how I started my podcast. It was like, okay, it was challenge for me, and I wanted just now to share with you. And it was like I run one Facebook group with my friend, my partner from Australia, and she was like my mentor, and she always in a front man. I was in back end, and she said, Christina, why don't you pop up? Why don't you pop up? Why don't you share a video? And then it was like, okay, how can I go there?
Yeah, we're still here. I just
So
gave you the
yeah,
spotlight so you can share your message through speaking in the
and,
chat. Mhm.
and this is how I started 21-day challenge, digital marketing plan strategy and social media. And I created 15 videos and hosted 4 entrepreneurs. And this is how I started. It was from Entrepreneur Day. And I moved into the KSM podcast, Growing Business Online with Christina. And this is organic, so there are people who come to me and podcast video marketing is so important, that because people love to hear your voice, people love to hear body language, people like to connect with you. And sometimes, when you look someone and watching video, you think that you know that person many years, so this is how I started. It was challengeable for me, but now it's so beautiful, and people just really come to me and wanted to ask me and send me a message or email that they want to, or VA of some business owners, coaches wanted to be guest speakers on my podcast. As podcast is lead magnet anyway, it's for free as well. So this is a way how I started, from as a marketing manager in team for the web and graphic design. I'm in such another place, which is podcasting, and I'm super happy with that.
I love it, Christina. I think one very important piece that I love to kind of give and highlight to is you paid attention to your passion. You paid attention to the things that light you up. Because the more we do things that light us up, our organic, authentic power will start to attract the right people towards us, right? So pay attention to the things you care about. Much like you, I also was more experienced in speaking, so I leveraged that because that was more natural way for me to transfer information. For somebody else, it might be writing, right? Because based on their life experience and journey, or even the natural gifts and talents, we just have a lot of untapped things that we don't even know. So leverage those and never stop discovering yourself and evolve and learn new skills, because you just become even more valuable, and your authentic confidence will just be that thing. And it's not something that you put an effort into anymore. It's just you show up. So you speak more from the intuitive side, which is a very important piece in content creation nowadays, because that's also actually the only differentiator that we have as humans, because we could talk about two things, but I have a different perspective around it. And, Christina, you have the same, and Becca has a different approach because her life experience and journey and gifts and talents and all those things are different. So that's what makes us beautiful, but also what leverages us is in the leadership level, because we're able to collaborate with one another, because we always will have complementary ways that we can serve our markets better, our audiences better, the people that we get to serve better through the energy that we have put to be able to add value and build some sort of brand presence out there, whether it's virtual or local. I think it's really the same thing, just a matter of adapting to whatever environment that you are part of. I love it. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today. I'd like to, I would love to continue the conversation, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time and the audience's time as well. So I want to go back to you, Becca, for a final message from your school of life, something, an impactful lesson that you have learned. It doesn't just have to be business, it could be personal, that you like to share with our audience today, as we are all lifelong learners and students, that you think would add value, and also where is it that the audience can further continue this conversation with you?
Sure, absolutely. Um, I think in general, like everything that happens, like you got to find something good in it. So it's giving up blaming and complaining, and instead finding the good. So there's a lot of events that come up, and it's how we respond to the events. If your husband forgets your birthday, you can be mad and get all upset, and then he does nothing. Or if he forgets your birthday, you can be like, oh darn, now you got to take me out for steak and a sundae, and so it's how you respond to the events. We can't change the events that happen, but we can change our response, which changes the outcome. So that's my insight there. But so I'm Becca Heissel, a passionate advocate for entrepreneurs and success strategist at Smashing Numbers. Anybody who wants to learn more can do a free strategy session, and they can find us at smashingnumbers.com. And I would just love to have a conversation, see where you are in your business, and how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And we build little muscles. You may not be able to start paying yourself 10% today, but you could maybe start with 1%, start with a half a percent, start with $5 a week. Build those muscles.
Powerful,
Yes,
powerful stuff. And
that's lovely. I just wanted to say thank you so much. And if you want to have your passion, just follow up, never give up. So if you wanted to know much more about digital marketing, come to growing KSM Growing Business Online with Christina. And also I'm also always open for session, free strategy session. And then if you wanted to start running your own podcast as host of your, as a business owner, I'm always open to work with you in my coaching program. But anyway, I'm super happy, and never give up. Follow your passion and connect with amazing people all around the world, and also build such an amazing relationship. If you don't have immediately that person as a client, maybe that person will come to you after 6 months. After, be persistent, be consistent, be successful, as I mentioned in my quarter's book, Global Women in Business, which I'm super happy with that. And thank you for inviting me along today. I'm super happy to share with you, and ladies, to be with you today. My such a pleasure. I'm so honored to be with you.
Well, I'm very honored to have you both. An impactful message that you both shared, right? And we all can walk away with those. I think it's very important to learn from our lessons, just like you both have shared. And I love that you mentioned relationships, because I'm big on that. So absolutely connect amongst one another. I will connect you and tag you everywhere inside our global community as well, because the magic of everything we do is into the people and the communities and the relationships that we nurture over time. Because just like you said, Christina, we are all evolving. Right now, maybe me and you don't have a connecting dot that we can create a win-win for one another, but maybe in 6 months or a year we will. And if we cherish our relationships and we don't look at people just for the phase and stage of our life and what they can give us, right? But rather than be like, what can I do to give on the other end? We're building all this amazing reciprocity with one another. And the people that are always going to support us are the one that already know, like, and trust us anyway. So why not you do this at a global scale and do it in a quality way? And that's what I have all created here at the Life School. I want to thank you both for attending. Definitely encourage you to check out the websites for both of these amazing two purpose-driven entrepreneurs today. And I want to always thank you for watching, sharing this show, subscribing, but also most importantly for connecting with all the people that always come on to start a conversation and nurture these amazing relationships. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time with another amazing show and conversation. Bye, everybody.
Thank you again.